This is a tale as old as the internet. A boy with too much time on his hands and an odd set of talents comes up with an idea while performing a mundane task. I want to make a video about Skyward Sword, but simply 100%ing the game doesn't seem like it would make that good of a video. Oh, I got it! No, dude. Fuck. Whoa. We're gonna make it. Oh, we're gonna make it. Just need a little more time. I only almost threw up once. At that moment, an idea was born, leading to the legend that will be told over the next odd hour. So the challenge is that I'm going to be 100%ing Skyward Sword while playing on a treadmill the entire time. I'm doing this for two reasons. The first is to bring back some of that sense of challenge and immersion that I first felt when I was playing through this game as a kid. It was the first Zelda game I managed to beat after playing it on and off for multiple years, so this game holds a special place in my heart. I want to retrace those steps, taking every step Link does, if not way more, while working towards another dream of mine, which is to one day complete an Ironman. I started training in October of last year, building my way up from no previous cardio experience into completing a full marathon in April, but I still have a long way to go, and a lot of speed to build up considering my marathon PB right now is just over 6 hours. Of course, making gaming content doesn't exactly pair well with training. Until now. So I'll be doing a bunch of prolonged speed sessions along with distance runs during this challenge, including a full marathon once the game opens up in the mid-game, and these are the rules. First is I have to be actively moving on the treadmill during any point I'm making progress in the game. Progress being defined as moving forward towards objectives or progressing in any way. I will try to avoid breaks that would otherwise cheese difficult sections, such as pausing to take breaks mid-play session, but in instances where I trip or need to stop for any reason, I will immediately pause the game to prevent ever making progress off of the treadmill. Second, the speed of the treadmill depends on the danger level of the area, which I identify as 3 separate levels. 3.5 miles per hour for safe areas with no monsters or places to die, which is pretty much only Skyloft and the safe surrounding islands with some cutscenes here and there. 4.5 miles for general exploration, which is anywhere on the surface or far out Sky Islands. Lastly, I'll be doing 6 miles per hour for dungeons and boss fights. This means I'm going to be running during pretty much all significantly difficult portions of the game, including some very long sections. So I didn't really test or even think about these numbers too hard before kicking off the challenge, so let's see if I survive. Since I did absolutely no practice or preparations, day one was basically to see if the challenge was even possible. Nonetheless, I dragged my treadmill into my bedroom, propped my mic up on a box on my computer chair, and set off. I legitimately wasn't sure if I was going to have the coordination skill to play a game with motion controls without flying off the treadmill, so I just recorded this session in case I injured or maimed myself during the process. Luckily, no injuries occurred. We were able to get through the full Skyloft tutorial, but some of this challenge's difficulties were already starting to show. First was Skyward Strikes. The moving made my controller naturally unsteady, which led to simple Skyward Strike switches, pylons, goddess thingies, whatever, all looking like this. Okay! Wow, How is that the hardest part of the game so far? I'm scared. Second was shake inputs. It is incredibly easy to get inputs involving shaking when moving at any significant speed. When walking, this was mostly fixed with a steady hand and adjustment of grip and controls, but once I bought a shield, headed down to the surface and started jogging, that's when I realized I literally couldn't move because I was buffering shield bashes non-stop. I technically could hold my hand steady enough if I really focused, but this caused me to tense up so badly that I was basically getting more of a shoulder workout than cardio. I tested out running and found it literally impossible to move without shield bashing, so for the integrity of the challenge, I decided to swap to mixed motion and button controls instead of lowering my running speed. This did mean that the challenge became easier, but to make up for it, I raised my running speed to 6 miles per hour. Originally it was going to be 5.5, and banned myself from using shields until I got the Hylian shield at the very end. It's unfortunate that the controls worked out this way, but I feel like moving faster is more in line with my idea for the challenge than just fighting the controls. But don't worry, I turn on motion controls at lower speeds and for specific sections, as well as left gyro aiming, so there is still plenty of motion control difficulties to be found throughout the challenge. I just don't have to spend 20 minutes per Skyward strike and can actually move my character on the surface, which is probably going to be helpful. We worked out all these kinks as we gathered the Kikwis and earned ourselves the slingshot, ending day 1 with our rules and controls set, standing at the entrance of the Deep Woods. Day 2 is when we enter our first dungeon and really start to see what the rest of this challenge is gonna look like. We also start to obtain some of our first collectibles that we will be seeing a lot of. This is a Goddess Cube, one of the main collectibles standing between us and 100%ing the game. I plan to do most of my side questing in the mid to late game during longer streams, so for now, all you need to know is that there are tons of these scattered on the surface, and we need to Skyward strike all of them to unlock chests in the sky, and we will be opening them later in the run. With the Deep Woods traversed, it was time to enter our first dungeon. Puzzle solving at 6 miles per hour. How hard can that be? Now this is where the challenge's biggest roadblock rears its head. I didn't realize just how much the physical effort I was exerting was going to decrease my critical thinking capacity. Even though I've played this game before, it's been over 5 years. My memory of games is really good, which will clutch for me at times, but for many puzzles, I was still solving them all over again. This is the first dungeon in the game, and I got stuck on a puzzle. Specifically, I was missing a switch to raise the water level to its final tier when I was positive I'd hit them all. This wouldn't be a big deal if I wasn't running the entire time, because every time I get stuck on a puzzle, I'm going to be running for longer and longer and getting more and more tired, creating a vicious cycle where the physical exertion decreases my thinking, and then my decreased thinking slows progress, making me run for longer, getting more tired and more stupid. The best way I can demonstrate this idea is to think of oxygen like a replenishing meter that talking, thinking, and running all take from. When you are just thinking and talking, you are replenishing oxygen faster than you're using it, basically making fatigue a non-factor when playing or streaming normally. However, once you add the much larger drain of physical exertion, it starts to drain oxygen faster than you can replenish it, functionally putting every play session on a timer. If oxygen levels get too low during a puzzle solving section, I might not be functioning enough to critically think my way through something as quickly, and if I'm taking longer to get through a section, that also means more time running, which means I'm going to drain my oxygen even further. Fighting this cycle will be one of the biggest challenges in the run, and is something I will constantly have to manage during each dungeon in the game. For Skyview, this went poorly. Okay. We're back. We got water. I spent so long finding that switch that, let's just say, my system didn't like it very much. So after a brief intermission, we got back on the old figurative horse, obtained the beetle, and pulled up to Gearham's doorstep. I'm debating the shit out of him. Okay. Alright, stage 2. Okay. Woo. Okay. Got the extra hack in. God, this is such a good tutorial boss, dude. Gearham is so much aura. For like a boss. Okay, sick! Yo, that's our first dungeon! That's not bad. I only like almost threw up once. After that victory, I felt unstoppable, moving straight onto Eldin and speeding my way through the magma mitts and the 5 key pieces to enter the Earth Temple to end off day 2. Heading into day 3, I was a bit nervous to be diving straight into another longer dungeon. But if I couldn't beat the Earth Temple, there was no way I was going to 100% the game, so we dove right in. I progressed through the first half of the dungeon pretty quickly, getting past the beetle door and acquiring the bombs. After that, I got through the rolling ball section and progressed until I got stuck in this room with the rolling rocks. Now I was stuck in the same situation as I was last temple when I was missing a crystal switch in Skyview, but this time I'd learned from my mistakes a bit. I panned my camera around looking for any hints to go forward until I saw this ledge, which I eventually realized was showing me the path forward. Once we got through that room, it was an easy boss key grab into an even easier boss. We did it, boys! Gibby, we did it! We beat the second dungeon! Yippee! With Skaldera down, we grabbed the heart container, got camped by Zelda, and ended the day by unlocking Lanaryu and progressing through until we got to the north side of the desert. Lanaryu is my least favorite area in the game for obvious reasons. So the goal is to get in and out of here as quick as I could, with the goal being to unlock the mines by going through these 3 mini dungeons. To unlock the dials on this switch, we sprinted around the desert to each location. This is where oversight number of the run showed itself here, where I didn't know what speed I was supposed to run in these mini dungeons. So I just opted to count them as dungeons and ran in them. So after repeating that 3 times, we unlocked the mines and got to it. I was already dying from the mini dungeons, so the goal was to get the Gust Bellows before I ended stream. We got to the Gust Bellows, only getting stuck in this room that I'm positive also stumped me as a kid. This continued until I discovered the way out by accident. With this, we have a complete strategy. When I get stuck in a section and running is making normal thinking hard, I will employ this strategy to find the path forward. First, pan the camera around to see if you can tell where you need to go next. Bonus points if you have a map to check to help you do this. Second, if you see the direction you need to head, just randomly interact with everything you can in the room until something lets you move forward. Like I did with accidentally running into this wall, or accidentally finding an updraft back in the Earth Temple. The key here is accident. If I flail around in these rooms with the camera and Link himself, I will be able to more often than not brute force the solution, allowing me to solve puzzles with the brain functioning of a Stegosaurus on stimulants. It's pretty remedial, but that's exactly what you need when you are an hour and 5 miles deep into a play session. So once we got the Gust Bellows, we progressed most of the way through this dungeon, leaving just 4 rooms left to wrap up the next day. On hopefully the last day of the early game, I booted a quick stream before I had to leave for some prior obligations, so the goal was to beat the dungeon in the next 45 minutes. I sped through the map room and fiddled with these Gust Bellows platforms until I got stuck at this gate. With just enough bombs to even reveal the switches, I couldn't go across the room and reveal the order. Plus, each throw was painful due to the mixed motion controls and Joy-Con drift. I did not have time to exit and get more bombs and then fiddle with those janky bomb throws at all. But for some reason, my brain was telling me I knew the order of the switches. So I just hit them in the order I thought I remembered. Oh, thank God. Okay. See if I somehow subconsciously remember the order. My gut is telling me it's this. Left, right, middle. Oh my God. After this, it was smooth sailing straight to Moldardrach? I guess that's his name. His room. Then we flailed at him until he died. Yes, sir! Oh my God. Just shy of 2.5 miles in 24 minutes. Finish up this dungeon. Let's go! With all that, we had obtained the harp, and even beat the first imprisoned fight. Yes, I will be running for all of these, with the extra time I had. With mid-game arriving, it's time to make good on my promise, to start doing side quests and longer runs along with them, kicking off mid-game with a full marathon. As promised at the start of the video, as soon as we got to the mid-game, I committed to doing a full marathon the very next play session. The plan was simple: beat as much of the mid-game as I possibly could. I knew this marathon would take about 7 hours, since my personal best time is about 6 hours 10 minutes, and I'd be following the challenge rules for speed instead of optimally pacing myself, so I thought tacking on around an hour to that PB was a fair estimate. That was more than enough time to get through the majority of the mid-game, along with finally beginning to chip away at the side quests that I've been building up. For the uninitiated, or those who haven't played it in a long time, Skyward Sword's mid-game is structured like this. Fix the tower in Skyloft and play the song you just learned to open the Thunderhead. Then fly in to visit the Isle of Songs to learn another song. Use that song to open a region's Silent Realm, then use the Silent Realm reward to open up a path to a new dungeon. Claim the Sacred Flame at the end of the dungeon to upgrade your sword, then repeat the process 2 more times. The idea for pacing myself while following the challenge rules was that I was going to blow a bunch of my stamina at the start to get through harder sections like the dungeons and Silent Realms. Then once I got too tired, I was going to cycle in some side quests that I could mostly walk and jog in. Then once I restored some of my stamina, I would go back to do more dungeons and keep cycling it. So that's what we did. Kicking it off, we fixed the tower to open the Thunderhead. This took longer for, reasons. Dude. I swear, man, I'm up here. I'm investigating it. That's it, dude. It's the fucking X button. I thought it was gonna be the last, like, left on the D-pad, and that's why it was grayed out, dude. Oh my god. I knew it was something stupid like that. After taking a little bit of time to find the heart button, I completed the Isle of Songs puzzle with absolutely no issues. No way, dude, I overshot. As you can see, we are off to an immaculate start. Okay, luckily I predicted that this was going to be scuffed, so I called in some reinforcements. Gibby? Oh, yeah, baby. Oh my god, the guy in the chair is here. Not the bee. Dude. My friend Gabe, who he lovingly referred to as Gibby, was brought on as the first contractual employee of the Laggy Kai YouTube channel. He's here to make sure that I don't die, and to tell me where to go while supplying commentary as the real streamer when my brain inevitably shuts off somewhere around mile 16. The contract is, he makes sure I don't die for 8 hours, and I bought him a burrito as payment. Look at him. He loved it. Anyways, now that we finished mid-game setup, this is where shit gets real. Going into the first Silent Realm, I realized I never clarified where they would fall on the speed rules. Since they're some of my favorite parts of the game and have a super intimidating atmosphere, I decided I had to do the running speed I do for the dungeons to do them justice. Literally running while running from the Guardians really brought back some of that feeling since my heart rate was up, and it felt really cool to execute these sections. Since I had to balance being careful with going fast, since if I failed too many times or took too long, I might run out of stamina in real life. For this first realm, I managed the balance decently and got through relatively unscathed. We got rewarded with the Dragon Scale, and it was time to make our way to the Ancient Cistern. Unfortunately, I lied, because after a prolonged swimming section on the surface, meaning I had to jog the entire time, I had to go right back into running for the Skyview revisit. Despite the fact that chunked my stamina pretty bad for this early into the marathon, we still got through it, only getting stuck right at the start. The trio of Stalfos went down with relative ease, we got the water dragon her special water, and now it was finally time to start our first dungeon of the day. But wait. Didn't I just say I was using too much of my stamina already? And now I'm starting another dungeon? Well, here was the thought process. I basically honor system banned standing around in safe places just so I could walk to recover. I wanted to constantly be making progress at all times when I'm doing this challenge, or else I'd just be able to take breaks whenever I want. Since I'm 100%ing the game, I have some stuff I can do in Skyloft where I'm allowed to walk, but I have a very limited amount of it. Sure, I haven't done any side questing yet, but I only have a set amount available to me currently. I'll rapidly unlock more as I progress through the mid-game due to the massive amount of items we'll get, but I could potentially fail the challenge if I use up all my side quests too early and can't unlock any more by the time I need a walk break. So I have to push for as much progress as I can in order to make sure that that can't happen. Now that the dungeons are longer, I decided to break them up into sections while interspersing the side quest breaks as needed, to hopefully strike a good enough balance to unlock more side quests than I complete. So despite the fact that I was already feeling it this early on, I pushed to get through as much of the Ancient Cistern as I could. I managed to go until I got the whip before I had to step out of the dungeon to slow down for a bit. Once I did, it was finally time to start working towards the many side quests this game has to offer. Again, for the uninitiated, 100%ing Skyward Sword is defined as getting all items, upgrades, and completing all side quests. The main categories for these are the side quest for the Gratitude Crystals, the Pieces of Heart, the Goddess Cubes, and getting an assload of money to buy out the shops. For this initial cooldown before finishing the Ancient Cistern, we decided to go after all the loose Gratitude Crystals that could be found around Skyloft and buy a couple items. After that, I felt sufficiently cooled down and jumped back into the Ancient Cistern. We did the basement section, opened all the shortcuts, grabbed the boss key, and headed up to Box Collectathon.
Shiny glowy thing. He's brutalizing him. You should make this game harder while you're running your marathon.
Yes, I wanted to do hero mode, but for some odd reason, unlike the other HD Zelda remakes, this one doesn't let you do it as a first playthrough.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I thought missions were doing unlocking it and refreshing myself on anything, and everything would make the game easier than running it on hero mode would. The shiny.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Get shit on. Yeah, more like ancient shit turd.
Ancient piss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ancient
Yeah, you
shit
suck.
turd. Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah. What's his name?
Shitter.
Coloctus? More
Give me
like
my f***ing long sword.
more like Cockloctus.
Give me my
Am I
fucking
right?
long
Am I
sword.
right, Am I right? Yeah. Zam. All right. What's our mile count?
You can add 2 miles to it.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah, we
You're going at max speed for
yeah,
like
we put in some
2
work.
miles. That was crazy.
Yeah, we put in some work
Oh yeah,
for
baby.
those 2 miles. Sheesh. So that's what, 11 point something?
Yeah, 11 and a half.
Oh yeah.
We're getting up there.
We're in a halfway point. Cutting close.
Yes, sir.
I was feeling rough during the Ancient Cistern, but just having a dungeon under my belt felt like a massive momentum boost for the rest of the challenge. I'd been running for a few hours already, so Gibby went out to get us food while I kept going. I told myself I'd try to make as much story progress as I could while he was gone. We ran back to the Isle of Songs to learn the next song we need, then I sprinted straight to Lanaryu's Silent Realm entrance. The Lanaryu Silence Realm is a massive jump in difficulty, with much more hidden tiers across a larger area with way more of these ghosts that search for you. I got caught a few times and had many close calls, but we kept progressing until the final tier. Dude, where are the light fruits? Dude, where is it? come on. Oh my god, dude. Holy clutch. Oh my god. Oh, that was insane. Getting through by the skin of my teeth, we got the claw shots and entered the sand sea, which we will traverse with the help of this absolute Chad, Skipper. The sand sea is interesting since it's probably the longest surface section in the entire game. Even though I was only jogging, I knew I needed to cool down at some point, so I decided to keep pushing and try to get through the first island. I was struggling, but managed to get to Skipper's house before Gibby got back with the supplies. Gibby?
Daddy's home.
Gibby. Gibby, I was active.
You were active?
How far do you think I got in the game?
Are you ready to fight the Vice?
Gibby got his promised burrito, along with some food for me to eat after the run. But for during it, he got some ice cream, which is not optimal by any means to eat while running. I just thought it would be funny. With the supplies acquired and Gibby back to guide me, we took another break to knock out some side quests. Mainly more of the simple gratitude crystal quests. We also snagged ourselves some wallet upgrades and some of Beatrix? I have no ideas rewards. With my body sufficiently cooled and some ice cream suboptimally consumed, we popped back over to the sand sea and completed the shipyard. With the shipyard done, we moved on to a mini dungeon I had forgotten was in the game, the Pirate's Hideout. Since it was a mini dungeon, I had to up my pace to a run while I was already tired enough that I couldn't find the door without input from Gibby. We're just on the struggle bus. We're just gonna move forward best we can. I don't know how to open this freaking hideout though. Ha, there it is. Okay. Oh, time to run again. Pray for me. Keeps getting to a groove. Holy eye. The hideout was a slog, with me having multiple sections I had to retry, either due to Joy-Con drift or just running low on brain cells. This is fine though, because we are getting to the end where I can finally... Oh my god.
Through the
thing is possible. Where does that send me back?
The beginning.
Jesus. Okay, with that death, it was getting abundantly clear that my level of gameplay was diminishing. But luckily, enemies stayed dead across attempts, so rerunning through the dungeon went much faster. However, it was still an omen for struggles to come. And after another couple side quests, those struggles arrived in the cruel form of the sand ship. The sand ship is a long dungeon, and at this point we were almost 19 miles in, and I was feeling it. Even early on in the dungeon, I was already struggling, but I knew I couldn't afford to run out of side quests, so we pressed forward. We killed the enemies on the deck, grabbed the small key, worked our way outside, and fought the mini-boss.
Smack his ass! Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Get out of there. Open.
At this point, my execution was practically non-existent, which is a fantastic thing to hear when you just got the most aim-intensive item in the game, the bow. As we continued through the dungeon, making the shots required for bow-related puzzles was ugly. We had many close calls involving almost running out of arrows, which would cost me even more time. As you can see, I could really not afford that. We slowly but surely made our way through, but this dungeon, this deep into a marathon, was one of the hardest things I've ever done in a game. At this point, Gibby had pulled up a walkthrough and was basically thinking for me, because all I could do was keep my feet moving and execute. At this point, I was barely functioning, making insane mistakes I wouldn't even have made as a kid. So I had to put maximum effort into both thinking and moving at the same time. After what felt like an eternity, we both cleared the treasury and got the boss key, triggering the sinking sections into the Tentalis fight.
Spank his ass. Yeah, we beat him. Yep. Dude? Yeah. Dude, those barrels are so mean. I don't think I've ever not gotten him by this. That was pretty impressive. What if you don't let him? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Shit. Okay, he's waiting. Okay, dude.
Let's go. Yes. Oh yeah. I'm gonna miss the way he stared into my eyes lovingly.
Same. With Tentalis struck down, we finally acquired the second Sacred Flame, forged the Goddess White Longsword, which allows us to get the fuck out of the sand. Which, call me Anakin Skywalker, cause I... With our hero limping out of the sand ship, we only had 3.3 miles to go. Luckily, I catch a break with going back to the Isle of Songs. After that, I did my last batch of side quests for the day, and bought one of the most expensive items in the game with all the rupees we earned throughout the marathon. By the time we finished, there was only 2.5 miles left in the run, and I felt to truly make this great, I had to push for one last challenge. By the entrance of the final Silent Realm, I was at my absolute limit, but I refused to let the marathon end on a whimper. With barely any run left to save energy for, I cranked up the treadmill and got started on my final trial.
Speed to 4 million kilometers per hour.
Dude, that'd be done. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, just in 0.2 seconds you'd finish it. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, actually. So tough.
Hopefully there'll be one on that ledge. Let's find out. There's one down there. Okay. That should open. Matter. Watch me juke this guy. Boom.
Yeah, dude, his ankles are broken. You actually just shamed him in front of his family. Dude, he's still on your ass. Yeah. Yeah, you
What?
can too.
That makes me slide down.
That auto slid you? Yo, that's evil.
That's devious.
That's evil.
Okay, I need to get over this ledge, but if there's not anything like right here, yeah. That's up. Oh, is this bigger than?
Oh yeah, baby. Look at that bad boy. Oh yeah, baby. Oh shit. Just jump back. Let's.
With that, we did it. I was completely mentally and physically exhausted, but we crossed the finish line, completing an entire marathon while getting through the majority of Skyward Sword's mid-game. I had originally wanted to shoot for beating Fire Sanctuary as well, but I had severely underestimated just how much my gameplay would diminish as the run went on. This took a special kind of endurance I wasn't sure I had in order to think, play, run, and talk at the same time, but I managed it. Boys!
It is finished. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, he's awake.
Yay!
He lives.
Alright. Yeah? We did it. We did it. Thank you.
That's fucking awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to my psychosis. Gibby, thank you for feeding into it.
You know, someone's got it.
Couldn't have done it without you. Oh, I'm getting the dogs out.
Dogs.
Dogs away.
Oh,
Quit to
yeah.
man me.
Unleash the
But-
beast.
Oh, yeah. That hurt. A little bit.
A lot.
But, it's okay, guys. Because we did it. Like the Academy. Big Boy Jones. Notorious GIB. Gibby from iCarly. Look it up. It was this guy.
Yeah.
Gibby, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to say to the people?
Tune in tomorrow for another marathon, so.
You. You. Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Next time I'm
Dude,
the guy
I
in
could
the
get
chair.
maybe half a mile in.
Yo, next time I'm the guy in the chair, bro.
Oh, yeah, when's that?
Hit end stream before we get ourselves canceled.
Alright.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
See you,
Next time.
See you, stinky little bears.
Bye.
Stopping stream.
But as special as this victory was for our hero, there was still many trials to come. Even though we've done a full marathon, I still wanted to keep challenging myself throughout the rest of the game. Luckily, the game's natural difficulty curve will help me with this. As I was doing the section to enter the fire sanctuary, I vowed to beat the whole dungeon in one attempt without taking the side quest breaks I've been doing for the other long dungeons. I knew it was going to be tough, especially since we were officially entering territory in the game that I haven't seen outside of my very first playthrough, but I set the speed of the treadmill and opened the door. The start of the dungeon progressed easily enough. I love these switches, dude. I don't love these switches, dude. Other than some mishaps like that, we were moving through at a steady pace, all the way to the upgraded magma mitt. A bit after this was where I was really starting to feel it, but I could literally see the boss door. I was so close, I just had to push a little bit further and not get stuck. I'm out of gas, I think. Shit. It's right there, man. I don't know the way forward. Shit. With the door literally right there, I no longer knew how to progress. At this point, I didn't have much longer, and I stopped to do some panicked thinking. While looking around, I realized that I needed to make this lava start flowing, but I wasn't sure how. I had a feeling that the answer was in this room, so I ran back in, and just as I was about to give up hope, I noticed this digging point that I had walked over previously. As soon as I started digging and I saw it was a point that I could enter, I knew the dungeon was solved. That was all the motivation I needed to keep pushing the speed longer than I'd ever before in this challenge. I got the lava flowing, luckily remembered this magma, and ran up the longest room in the entire game to get the boss key and enter Girahim 2 on Death's Door. I let myself catch my breath for a few seconds in the cutscene since I was technically safe before I started the most intense fight so far. Oh, he's done. I can't hear the victory music, so. Oh yeah. Took like a couple seconds of break, but dungeon done in one. Despite its much shorter length, I managed to keep things interesting in this dungeon, pushing the speed as hard as I could. I legit had to mop my floor after this, I was sweating so much. But despite some desperate flailing, we kicked Girahim's ass and forged the Master Sword. With the Master Sword forged, we are officially entering the late game. Even though I'd say we have a little under a third of the main story left, we actually have already completed 6 of the 7 main dungeons in the game, due to late game's weird structure shift. We have to run a few errands at the start. First, we check back in at the Sacred Grounds to have a scuffle with Imprisoned 2, and casually witness one of the saddest cutscenes in the series. Oh no, it's so sad, I hate this scene. But hey, at least our sword glows now. That's cool. Right? Right, guys? Then we stop by Skyloft to learn about the Sky Dragon Levias, who is currently corrupted. We learn the Spiral Charge, then use it to free him from this curse. Our reward for this is learning about the hero song, where we need to go to each of the region's dragons in order to learn their parts of the song. Wish you told me this earlier, lady! But obviously, it's not as simple as going to talk to them. Instead of doing dungeons, we have to do a long quest on the surface, either as a favor to the dragon, or in order to find them at all. The specifics we'll go over as they come up, but we can do them in any order we choose, which is actually pretty neat. So after Levias enjoyed his soup, we ended the day with some side quests as we prepared to piece together the hero's song. Setting off to get our first piece of the hero song, I decided to go to Furore first. Mainly because I remembered this section being really annoying. Unlike our run-in with the most unique video game boss of all time, Imprison 3! Dropping in, we learned that we actually have to launch ourselves using the GOAT's catapult, the Gruesinator. Because for some reason, we can't access the bird statues. We quickly realized that's because since there were too many monsters in the woods, the water dragon did the only logical thing, and flood the entire forest. God, this dragon's batting 1,000. Anyways, we talked to her, and she's like, yeah, in order to learn the song, you gotta collect the Tadtones in order to piece the song together. I have no fucking idea what the lore reasons for this are, but we need to gather the Tadtones, so that's exactly what we did. I'm Tadtonin'. Call me Tadtony. Oh shit. It's the ops. Oh shit, Tadtony. Oh yeah. Tadtone gang. They don't call me Tadtone Tony for nothing. Oh yeah. Sick ass cutscene I can't hear. It took pretty much the entire play session, but eventually Tadtone Tony, apparently, why did I say that? Found all of them, and we ended the day learning our first part of the hero song, acquiring our first key to beating the game. I was not satisfied with how little I was able to accomplish on day 9 due to the ordeal that was the Tadtones, so I was aiming to meet both the other dragons on day 10. We pulled up to Lanaryu to meet the Sand Dragon, just to find out he's dead? Okay, not actually. We use the Time Shift Stone to find out that he's dying anyways? Man, what is wrong with these dragons? Yeah, so the Sand Dragon is sick and can't teach us the song. So he gives us a sapling to the Tree of Life and instructs us to plant it somewhere where it can grow the fruit. This is supposed to be a big puzzle, involving remembering where and trying out these suspicious mounds that are scattered throughout the game, but on a replay like this, I just knew I was supposed to take it to the mound in the sealed temple in the past, making this quest only take a few minutes. Don't be fooled by the ease of his main quest, cause this guy is so thankful that he will be setting up the hardest side quest in the game for when we see him again. But for now, we leave, drop into Eldin, and immediately lose all our shit. For the Eldin quest, we have to slowly work our way through this stealth section, regathering all our items one by one in order to open more options to slowly scale the mountain. It took a while, and we got stuck at the beginning. After this, it was relatively steady progress until we found both our sword and the fire dragon at the top. With that, we had gathered the 3 parts Levias told us about, so we headed back to him to put it all together and learn the full song to open the endgame. With that being said, you probably looked at the progress bar and wondered why there's still so much video left. This is because I didn't set out to beat Skyward Sword, I set out to 100% it, which we are about to find out is a whole different beast. So far, I wouldn't blame you if you thought 100%ing versus just beating the game almost made it easier. Since yes, it did lead to more distance in total, but a lot of it so far has been used to actually give me time to walk and recover. That changes now. On day 11, I wrapped up the last of the easy gratitude crystal side quests that primarily take place on the surface, meaning that the rest of the side content is going to require not only extra time and distance, but include faster speeds both in the surface and in dungeons themselves. We also are entering the territory I've never treaded as a kid. Even now, making Petro human was something I never managed as a kid, and to me, that's what these videos are all about. Pulling off stuff I never could have imagined as a kid, since I just could not figure out where all this stuff was in the past, nor knew how to research it. I beat Skyward Sword before, but now we have to gather the rest of the hard-to-find cubes, heart pieces, and upgrade materials before this challenge can finally be over. Since I didn't want the tension of the run to peak in the middle with the marathon, I have removed the safety net of the remaining walking quests, meaning from now on, it's going to be a sprint to the finish. Endgame is a gauntlet of the hardest versions of everything we've seen so far. The final Silent Realm is absolutely crawling with watchers, with the tiers the absolute farthest apart we've seen. Our final dungeon, Skykeep, is the longest of any of the dungeons. And lastly, the final boss fight is actually a 3-fight gauntlet that starts with the Horde swarming you before you fight Girahem for the final time, into lastly the final showdown with Demise. When it comes to the remaining side content, with the Gratitude Crystals and Skyloft done, almost all remaining side content is on the surface, including the hardest of these, the Thunder Dragon's Lightning Round. This quest is a boss rush that our old buddy the Thunder Dragon was cooking up for us, and it's the quest to get the original Hylian shield. It's already considered difficult in a casual playthrough since you aren't allowed to use potions, but in the context of this challenge, it's one of the hardest sections in the entire game, since we won't have access to a shield, and we'll have to maintain running speed the entire time. Since the area the Thunder Dragon is chilling in is technically a safe zone, I could let myself walk for the few seconds it took to mash through the text to get from one fight to the next, but functionally it was such a short period of time that by the time the treadmill slowed down, it was time to speed it right back up, making these short breaks functionally useless. So due to my rule against stalling, we'll just have to keep moving. In order to get the shield, we have to do 8 of the 9 fights included. And we get to choose which fight to start with. However, after that, the order in which the fights appear is totally random, meaning I could get some of the hardest and longest fights towards the end when I'm the most fatigued. Since I love myself, I started with Imprisoned 2 and got to work. Quit now and I'll get myself the not too shabby, absurdly sturdy shield. Wait, but if I keep going, I get 2,000 rupees? Bro. Wait. Wait, I was supposed to stop? Oh. Wait. Wait, so I don't get the shield now? Wait, so I don't get the shield now? I don't get the shield now? What? I wasn't reading it. Quit now and I'll get myself the not too shabby, absurdly sturdy shield. Yeah, so guys, we screwed up. Oh. Oh no. Yeah, so I screwed up big time. The whole thing about the reward showing up after 8 fights wasn't something I knew going into it. I just knew that I got the shield from the boss rush and assumed it'd be the biggest reward since it would be beating the whole gauntlet. Instead, I got 2,000 rupees, because that's definitely more valuable than the legendary unbreakable shield. Makes perfect sense. I was devastated for about 5 seconds until I realized that the 2,000 rupee reward was probably the fastest way I could have farmed the rest of the money I needed. Still, that didn't change the fact that I now had to do all of that again. So I did the only logical thing and just immediately ran it back. Well, time to do it again. Guys, we saved 6 milliseconds. Go get yourself a not too savvy, absurdly sturdy shield. So I quit, right? Oh yeah! Hylian shield, and for 1 attempt, right boys? Right boys, 1 attempt. Never punished. With the Hylian shield finally claimed after 2 whole runs, we need to do another one for the heart piece. Never punished except for the fact that I feel like I'm gonna die. Guys, we get the heart piece right now. Guys, it's only like 4 battles, right, boys? Oh yeah. We did it, boys. We sweep the boss rush, and it only took 7 and over a quarter miles in 82 minutes. Okay, at least that was only 4 fights, and we got pretty lucky getting some quick ones. Now we have officially conquered the Thunder Dragon's Lightning Round, finishing by far the longest questline in the game, freeing us up to roam the world to gather the rest of the collectibles. By this point, summer was wrapping up, and I was actually going to be starting school soon, so I was determined to end this challenge in only 2 more play sessions. First, we would finish the side content, becoming the strongest we possibly could before diving into that final string of main story challenges. Since we need a bunch of collectibles, we were setting up for a long day. I called up Gibby once again to be my guy in the chair and guide me to the collectibles I didn't know the location of. With my reliable guide, I love the slow one. I love the slow one. The plan was to drop into each region one last time and gather the remaining sky cubes and heart pieces we need. But first we had to clean up the heart pieces I had forgotten about in the sky, both of which are tied to the 2 minigames we were yet to play, Fun Fun Island and the shooting minigame. By this point in the run, it was clear that it was going to be over for my controller by the end. I'd used Nintendo's Joy-Cons since they were the only one-handed controller that works on this game, and they already don't have the best track record as demonstrated earlier in the run. But now they were pretty thoroughly destroyed by years of use and an obscene amount of hand sweat. The slight input drops didn't matter most of the time, especially now that most of the dungeons are done, but they made these last 2 minigames a special type of hell. Fun Fun Island eventually fell with time. I don't know where it was.
Yes!
Oh my gosh, the time I wasn't sure where it was is when I got it. Dude, I wish I could hear the trumpet.
I know, right?
500 rubies. Oh, it's the one time I went through every ring too. Oh my gosh.
Guess which little
Gabe,
guy
I
gets
wouldn't
a
have
special
gotten it.
prize.
I wouldn't have gotten it if I didn't go through all the rings.
What, really?
He just said you went through all the rings so you get a special prize. Oh my gosh.
Yo, you would have crashed out.
We almost fucked up real bad. What region do you want to do first? But the shooting gallery was starting to take so long, we put it on the back burner in favor of moving on while I still had Gibby to guide me. This let us drop into Furore and gather the heart piece in the dungeon, along with the cubes and other heart pieces needed throughout the forest. We then dropped into the other two to clean up their surfaces as well, while mixing in more shooting game attempts as we went. You can fucking yeet these that far, dude. Oh my god. Other than us still not getting the 600 points we needed, the only other heart piece that gave us trouble was the last one in the minecart minigame. And with that, we were finished with the side con. Oh shit, I'm missing a heart piece. Okay, so we missed a heart piece. This is a risk when going for 100% in a disorganized fashion across multiple weeks like this. All we could really do was look at the heart piece list on the wiki and do some detective work.
You got the Pilot Stronghold one, you got the Volcano Summit one, why don't you get those two? We got the more in the sky. You got this one. Are you sure you got the Temple of Time one? Almost remember you getting this one, but like...
Right over here. I guess that confirms it's not a goddess cube thing, right?
Yeah, I guess it would, yeah. Got the Skyview Temple. Goddess Cube. Lumpy Pumpkin. Fair Gratitude Crystal. I almost remember you picking up this Elden.
What is it?
It's when you first enter the Elden region. When you go to the right, you climb up those little steps, and you go around.
So let's give it a check.
Okay.
That doesn't sound familiar to me.
You Elden Volcano. What's the find in the game too?
I'm still getting used to the challenge.
Yeah.
I specifically remember I did this section after I did Skyview, and I sprinted through it really quickly on purpose. 'Cause my goal for that stream was to get the mob max, and I ended up doing the extra key pieces too.
Alright.
Yeah, you can see everything knocked down and shit from the stealth mission.
Go. Hell yeah.
Sweet. With that, the mystery was solved. With only the ghost of the shooting game haunting us, we hit the Silent Realm to bring us into both the challenge and the summer's final day. Despite the fact that I ended last night looking like this, I got up, ate some good food, and obsessively thought about booting stream to end this challenge that night. By the time I had finished the day's responsibilities, it was the night of the final day. However, on the dawn of said final day, I realized mistake number 30,876,007,003 of the run. I just completely forgot about getting all the upgrades. Luckily, I was mindfully collecting materials throughout the run, and built up enough cash since buying out the shops with that sweet Thunder Dragon paycheck. But we still needed a decent amount of materials, mainly the most common ones: ornamental skulls, monster claws, and tumbleweeds. This is where I learned the most obscure Skyward Sword fact of the run, that the usual monster claw grinding spot in Skyloft Cave stop spawning monsters, but only after you lift Betroth's curse, leaving me to have to go grind them on the surface for even more running. Woo! After this, we grabbed a few of the one-off higher rarity materials we needed, earning us all the upgrades. Obviously, I choose to put myself through these things, so usually I wouldn't complain, but I knew the extra 2 hours and 8 miles this added to the day was going to hurt later, since all of that was just pre-gaming for our final obstacles. Except we still have to somehow do the shooting gallery. Please, I just need to somehow pull this off, and then we will have everything and can finally beat the game. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, we tried that shit for like 20 minutes last session. Holy shit. Oh, we're so back. Yes! Symbol of friendship, the final heart piece. Yes! Drop bomb, I want to try again. More like never. With that, we officially have everything in the game. Except for like 3 bugs. Okay, now, really, finally, seriously, we have everything for real this time. Let's get this shit. First was the Silent Realm, which we used previously to farm for materials. Actually completing it had some close calls, but went relatively smoothly. Full teabag on this guy. Boom, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. Bitch, bitch, bitch. Look at this guy. He can't do shit to me. We're untouchable, baby. Easy Silent Realm. Glorified map farm. Post Silent Realm, we enter and immediately recognize how different this dungeon is. I had vague memories of it, but had no idea what I was doing. In this dungeon, instead of a single endpoint with a boss, we have to use this totem to rearrange the dungeon to get to the 3 colored rooms that have their corresponding piece of the Triforce, with the dungeon instantly ending once we collect the final piece. Now, Gibby was supposed to be here to guide me through this, but he got sick, so we are on our own. I rearrange the pieces and quickly find the Triforce of Courage room, only to realize that it's the only one blocked by a small key. So we double back and try to find more routes, and kinda fail miserably. Since I have nothing else to do in the game, for the first time ever, I'm just stuck here wandering the halls and trying to hang on as I use my brute force method of puzzle solving we have basically mastered by now. Eventually, I make the astounding realization of if I can move the dungeon from multiple totems, marked by these things on the map, that's probably really important. Doing this quickly opened up a route to the Triforce of Power as well as the small key. With the small key, I reload the dungeon to let me backtrack to the Triforce of Courage, which instead of Power's lame auto-scrolling section, gives us some of my favorite rooms in the game. Bro, the undead think they can step to me, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta get dog walked. I just played the harp on him just to flex.
Yeah, you kind of own that fraud.
This is the best part of it now. Isn't it awesome?
Dude, his little legs are doing a fucking dance. He tripped on his own
You
head.
think like
Oh, Triforce of Courage, baby. Oh, yeah, take back this dungeon's awesome. I'm just being a hater because I have to run. With that, we have one last puzzle, finding our way to the Triforce of Wisdom. With Wisdom having practically fully left our system, we stood at the totems before us and tried to make it work. With that, we have beaten every dungeon, solving every puzzle in our way, officially proving that yes, I can in fact multitask. It just feels like I'm slowly running out of oxygen while creating a special brand of exhaustion that can only be produced by this professional level of stupidity. But we did it! Officially passing the 100-mile mark, wow we did. Only thing left for us to deal with is the final battle. So we do a quick victory lap before leaving Skyloft for the final time. The battle starts with us first thwomping the potential imprisoned forfeit, because we're not doing that again. Before waking up Zelda! Yippee! Oh god, never mind, Girahim stole her. Okay, so after watching Girahim hit that shit, we face down Demise's Dark Army, the Horde. The same bokoblins that were giving us trouble at the start of the challenge now approach in droves. With everything we collected, we cut them down with ease. Even as they add archers, bombs, moblins, stalfos, none of them can stall us for more than a few seconds as we approach Girahim for our final showdown. For Girahim 3, he's more aggressive than ever, finally taking us seriously as he takes his true form and attacks. Hey, let's rock. There we go. Upon defeat, he changes to his true form of Demise's sword. So I guess he's Evil Fi. Regardless, the void opens, leaving Demise the last obstacle between us and finally winning this challenge. Okay. Not yet. Alright, it's okay. It's the final boss. Now we can finally end the challenge. Fatal blow input. No, dude. Fuck. As you can see at this point, it was pretty much over for me. On top of my physical stamina being pretty much spent, my controllers are starting to break down even more, making the fatal blow input required to end the game incredibly inconsistent. Sure, I could have stopped, save the game, and probably win first or second try the next day. But I promised myself I was beating the game today, and we've already come so far. So we just have to brute force one final solution. Are you sharing any words of encouragement? He seeks from that far. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god, it's over. Oh my fucking god, it's over. Oh my god, we beat Skyward Sword entirely on a treadmill, 100%ed it. Holy fucking shit. First try. First try, easy every time. I wasn't even worried a little bit. It's over. It's finally over. 14 days, 20 plus hours of gameplay, over 100 miles, a marathon, a half marathon, multiple 10 miles, and countless 5 and 10Ks. 80 gratitude crystals, 24 heart pieces, 27 goddess cubes, 19 item upgrades, 7 wallet upgrades, 7 medals, 4 sword upgrades, 4 adventure pouch upgrades, 4 empty bottles, and thousands of rupees. Beating every dungeon, puzzle, and boss that stood in our way. Honestly, it feels insane to have this done. This video has been in the works to some extent since I uploaded my first fully scripted video, and it's the project I'm the most proud of on this channel. So I limped into school the next day with my legs full of pain, but my heart full of joy. Just seeing an insane idea like this through to the end is such a special kind of feeling. Slowly creating this massive project like this with no guaranteed benefit feels like something you have to be at least a little crazy to do. And I couldn't be happier to have seen this through. I definitely developed certain skills that I'm sure will come in handy in the future of this channel as well. When it comes to the progress towards my Ironman dream I mentioned, over an hour ago, I actually did pair this entire challenge with a calorie deficit and got decently leaner and brought my mile time down, which will definitely help me. To end this video, I just want to shout out the people who help with the creation process. Mainly Gibby for being my guy in the chair, and the rest of my friends who had to hear me rant about having to make various creative decisions while they watched me shatter my kneecaps. If you enjoyed this saga, please throw me a sub. I'm trying really hard to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, so those 50-cent Google checks will give me more excuses to make more insane stuff like this. I'll be streaming more of my challenges as I actively film them over on my Twitch, twitch.tv/LagGayKai, and I need like 7 followers to get verified there. Either way, if you stuck this through, thanks for going on this insane journey with me, and I'll see you guys in the next upload. Next video hopefully won't take as long, but should still be pretty crazy, or it'll be the Silksong video because this took so long that we actually got Silksong first.